Today's lesson, we're going to be doing Eureka Math Module 1, Lesson 1 today, and for this lesson we are going to be talking about how we can multiply these different numbers and these different numbers in unit form and show how they move on a place value chart. So we're going to start off with this first problem right here, and our problem is that we are multiplying 10 times 2 thousands. So what we're going to do is normally what would happen is you would have place value discs on your chart, and then we would show how they get moved over to the 10,000s and it becomes 2 10,000s. But what Mrs. Amir is going to show you today is we're just going to use numbers because I feel like that is going to help you better understand what we're doing here. So 4th grade, what I need to do is I first need to show where my number is starting at. So I have 10 times 2 thousands. I'm underlining this 2 thousands part right now because that is the number I am starting with. So I'm going to put a 2 in my thousands place because I have 2 thousands, and then that lets me know that since I don't have any other units, that I need to then fill in the rest of these spaces with zeros, because I know that the number 2,000, as long as it doesn't have anything else, it should have the rest of the place values with zeros, and there should be 3 zeros. Then 4th grade, what we're going to do is, since we are multiplying this number by 10, what happens when we multiply a number by 10 is we shift it over to the left in a place value chart, just like this. So what is going to happen is you are going to see these 2,000s get multiplied by 10, because it's just like saying if I have 2,000 times 10, just like this, I can think of this as 2 times 10, which is 2. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that gives me an answer of 20,000. So that's why when we do 2,000s times 10, it shifts over to the 10,000s place value, and now I have 2 10,000s. Now for your lesson for today, you are going to solve. Your answer would then be 2 10,000s. And normally you could write out your answer like this, but I also want to see how you guys answer the questions with the place value charts. So when we shifted 2,000s over to the left because we're multiplying by 10, our final answer came out to 20,000. Which looks like this in standard form or like this in unit form. So 4th grade, what I would like you to try is you should now open up this Jamboard if you don't already have it open. So you could pause this video, open up this Jamboard, and what I would like you to do is I would like you to try and solve this problem on your own. So if you could please open up your Jamboards and then solve this problem right here, just like Mrs. O'Mara solved this problem right here. So the only difference is that you have 3 10,000s, so think about what place value should you put your 3 in, and then if you multiply it by 10, what is your new number going to be? So please pause the video, get your Jamboard open, and solve this. Alright, so 4th grade, you should have this problem solved, and if you didn't, if you're just watching the video straight through, you're going to have a hard time with today's work, so please, please, please make sure you're stopping the video and trying it out on your own. So you should have put your 3 in the 10,000s place, and then the rest of these place values, since we don't have any other units up here, is just going to look like this with all these zeros. So we have the number 30,000. So I have 30,000 right now, and I am multiplying 30,000 by 10. So everything is shifting over to the left one space on my place value chart, just like this. And what's happening is that I can think of this as 3 times 1, which is 3, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros that I need to add on now since I'm multiplying it by 10, because 300,000 is 10 times greater than 30,000. So we show that just like this. So remember, your number kind of follows the arrow, and what I am left with now is 300 thousandths. So again, I could write my answer like unit form 300 thousandths, like so, or I could write my final answer like 300,000 like this. So you should have your answer written on your place value charts, and then for your final answer you have the choice of either writing it in unit form, or you can write it as a number in standard form. So if you got this one correct, awesome job. Give yourself a little pat on the back. If you didn't, that is okay, but please make sure you're checking where you went wrong. So for our next problem, 4th grade, we also are going to be dividing by 10. So what I have right here is 4 thousandths. My unit is thousands, so what that tells me is that I need a 4 in my thousands place. I have no other units, so I'm going to fill in the rest of these with zeros, and then I notice that I have a division symbol right here. So with this division symbol, what that tells me is that I need to move all of my place values over to the right. And the reason why I'm moving everything over to the right is because that as we move farther to the right on our place value chart, our numbers get smaller and smaller. So as you move further right, your numbers get smaller, your place values get smaller. So we go from 100,000s to 10,000s to thousands and so on. When we multiply and we move to the left, our numbers get bigger and bigger. But for this problem, we are dividing. So 4th grade, if I am taking 4,000 and I'm dividing it by 10, my 4 will go into the hundreds place. This 0 will go to my hundreds place, and the 0 and the tens will also go to that place for a final answer of 4 hundredths. Now, mathematically, to also show you how this works, if I have 4,000 divided by 10, then I know that I can just cross off the 0, cross this one off over here, and what I'm left with is 400 divided by 1, which I just know is 400. So that would be my final answer. Now I can also write my answer in unit form, so I can write it like so. I could say 4 hundredths, and that would also be a correct answer. So 4th grade, that is how we solve this problem. Now, again, I would like you to try and solve this problem on your own. So you should have your Jamboard already open. What you're going to do is solve for 3 thousandths divided by 10. So please put 3,000 on your place value chart. Show me how it shifts to the right, and then tell me what your final answer is by either writing it in standard form or writing it in unit form. All right, so 4th grade, at this point, you should have solved this problem. If you didn't, you need to pause the video now and try this problem on your own so that you know how to do these on your own. So 4th grade, if I have 3 thousandths, I will put the number 3 in my thousands place, and then I will fill in the rest of these place values with zeros because I have no other units. Now, since I'm dividing by 10, everything is going to shift over to the right one time, so that I am finding what is a tenth less than 3 thousandths. So my 3 moves over to my hundreds place because 3 hundredths is a tenth less than 3 thousandths. And then I have 0 in my tens and 0 in my hundreds. So your final answer should be either 300, or you can write it out in unit form by saying that it is 3 hundredths, just like so. So that is how you answer that problem. Give yourself a little pat on the back if you got that one correct. Now, 4th grade, we also have some problems like this, and you probably have seen these on Zern at the end of the lesson for the Tower of Power. So we're going to practice these a little bit right now. So what we're going to do for this first one is I'm going to show you how we could use a place value chart to solve it. So for this problem, we have 4 tens, 3 ones. So I'm going to put this right here, 4 tens, and then we have 3 ones. Now when I look at this number is just 43. So I'm just multiplying 43. And what am I multiplying 43 by? Well, I'm multiplying it by 10. So we have 43 times 10. Now, you may remember from our lesson last week, or from 2 weeks ago if you were in a different track, but when I see numbers like this and I'm multiplying it by 10, I know that I can just multiply by the digits out in front. So 43 times 1 is just 43. And then I can add that 0 on for 430. But I can also show it in my place value chart, and that's what we're going to do right now. So remember, since I am multiplying, I am moving everything to the left because I want the bigger place values. So my 4 is going to move into my hundreds, and my 3 will move into my tens. Now you may notice now I have this empty place value, and we never really want an empty place value. We don't like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill that in with a 0. And now I have my answer of 430. So 4th grade, whenever we are solving problems like this, I know that you probably know how to solve it like this, but using the place value chart helps us better understand why 43 times 10 gives me 430. So it just gets you a better idea of what is happening. Now, when I go to actually write out my answer, remember I can choose to either write out my answer as a number in standard form, like so, or I could also write it out in unit form. So I could type out 4 hundreds, 3 tens, and then that would be the final answer for this problem in unit form. So let's take a look at one more problem then, 4th grade. So for this next problem, we have 2 hundreds and 3 tens. So 2 hundreds, 3 tens. For this problem, I need to put my 2 hundreds into my place value chart. So I have 2 hundreds, and then I have 3 tens. So my 3 tens will go into this spot. Now you'll notice that I have an empty place value. Remember, I do not like empty place values, so I will fill that in with a 0. Now I am multiplying by 10, so that tells me that I need to shift everything to the left. And then after that, we can fill in our place values. So 2 hundreds times 10 becomes 2 thousands. 3 tens times 10 becomes 3 hundreds. 0 will move over, and 0 will be added in, so we don't have an empty place value. Then my final answer will be 2,300. And then if I wanted to write my answer in standard or unit form, then I could write that as 2,300. And that is the final answer. So 4th grade, what you should be doing right now is you are going to try solving this problem right here. 7 thousands, 4 tens times 10. So show me how your problem moves on your place value charts. And then after that, you need to show me your answer, just like before, in either standard form or in unit form, just like up here. So pick one of those and answer the problem at the bottom of this page. So 4th grade, at this point, you should be back from solving this problem, and you should have paused the video, done it on your own, and now you are ready to check your answer. So 4th grade, for this problem, we have 7 thousands, 4 tens. Now for this one, remember, if we have empty place values, we want to fill them with a 0. So we're going to fill these with a 0. And then I check, am I multiplying or dividing? I am multiplying by 10, so I'm going to move everything over 1 place value. Then I am going to move everything over, so 7 thousands times 10 is 7 ten thousands. My 0 will move over. My 4 tens times 10 will become 4 hundreds. The 0 will move over. And remember that I need to fill in this 0. And the reason why I fill in this 0 is that if I were to just write out my answer, 7040, that still just looks like 7,040, and that's the exact number that I started with. So we don't want to end with the same number that we started with. So it's really important that we fill in that last place value, so then we get our real answer, which is 70,400. So if you got this right, awesome job. If you didn't, I hope you understand why you got it wrong, and if you didn't, then you can always come into our 4th grade help room for help with that. Now, finally, we are going to be dividing in this same kind of way. So if I have 3 thousands in this problem divided by 10, remember I want to fill in all of my empty place values, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything to the right. So remember that as we are dividing, we want smaller numbers, so we're going to draw our arrows to the right, and you may be a little bit confused about why our ones can just kind of like drift off the page, and once you guys get into 5th grade and you start learning about these decimal place values, then you'll understand why that 0 moves over there. So 4th grade, I am going to move all of my numbers over. So 3 thousands divided by 10 gives me 300s. And then I can fill in with the rest of my zeros, which gives me a final answer of 300 if I were to write it out in standard form. Or if I were to write it in unit form, I would write it like this: 3 and then the unit hundreds. So 4th grade, let's try the next problem. And by now you guys are probably getting super good at this. So for this next problem, we have 6 thousands, 4 tens, and remember, if I have any empty place values, I want to fill those in with zeros. I check what kind of math I'm doing. I am dividing, so that means that everything is going to move to the right. So we're going to move everything over to the right, and then I will put my numbers into their new place values. So 6 thousands divided by 10 is 600s. Put my 0 here, and then my 4 tens divided by 10, or 40 divided by 10, will give me 4 ones, which gives me my final answer of 604 if I were to write it in standard form, or if I wanted to write my answer in unit form, I would write it like so: 600s, 4 ones. If you have a place value with a 0 in it, you do not have to include that in your unit form. So you don't have to say, for example, for this problem, 600s, 0 tens, 4 ones. If something is a 0, you don't really have to worry about its place value. Just make sure that the 0 is there in your standard form of your number. So 4th grade, you guys are going to try this very last problem then on your own, and you're going to be solving for 4,500s divided by 10. So you should be stopping the video now, answering that problem, and then coming back once you have it solved. Alright, so 4th grade, by this point, you should have this problem solved on your own. And again, if you did not do this, you need to make sure that you do this. Now, 4th grade, what you are going to do is you're going to be writing 4 thousands into the chart with 500s, and then filling in the empty place values with zeros. Then everything moves over to the right, and then we write our new number. You may notice that Mrs. Romero usually always has this line going through a place value chart, and that just helps me kind of organize my numbers. And you've probably seen this in your book as well. So 4th grade, this 0 will move over to this. These 500s divided by 10 will become 5 tens, or 50. And then these 4,000s divided by 10 will become 400s for my final answer of 450 in standard form. Or if I wanted to write it in unit form, I would write it like 400s, 5 tens. And then that would be my final answer. So fourth grade, that is our lesson for today. And for your work today, if you finished Zern lesson 2 already, then in your notebooks, or in your math workbook, I should say. Now, Mrs. Amara does not have your page numbers, so please keep that in mind. But what I would like you to complete for today, if you have not already finished lesson 2 on Zern, I would like you to look at the lesson 2 homework page, and you are going to try to solve the problems on just the very first page. So you're going to answer problem 1, A, and B, and then problems 2, and those 4 problems on there. If you have any questions about how to solve any of these problems, please let me know so that I can help you out with that. But a lot of these problems look exactly like the problems that we've been doing in this lesson right now. So you can always look back at this video to help you out. I hope you all enjoyed this lesson, and if you need any help, please join me in the Google Help Room. Have a great day, fourth grade. Bye.